Today, India is capable of carrying out successful explorations on the moon that is hundreds of kilometers away, and on Mars, which is millions of kilometers away. That too, at the lowest cost in the world. Compared to this, we haven't been able to develop a single good jet engine for our aircrafts flying just a few kilometers overhead. The jet engines that are being used in our fighter jets and commercial aeroplanes are all foreign made. Why India doesn't have its own indigenous jet engine? Why is this so? This is what we are going to analyze in this video. First, let's try to understand the working of a jet engine in a simplified way. In the first stage, the powerful fan in the front of the engine sucks in the outside air. Next is the compression stage, where the compressor pushes the air into the combustion chamber. Third is the combustion stage, where jet fuel is pumped into the compressed air under a very high pressure. When the fuel burns in the combustion chamber, the exhaust gases expand and exit the engine with a very large force. These exhaust gases produce an equal reactive thrust on the engine, and the aircraft moves forward with great speed. However, our biggest challenge is not knowing how a jet engine functions, but in knowing how to develop the components required for a jet engine. Among these components, the most complex problem is to design and develop the blades of the engine. These blades should be capable of spinning at extremely high speeds and yet withstand very high temperature, around 10,000 Celsius, at enormous pressure. Not only that, the blades and other parts need to be working on an average of 8 to 12 hours a day, 365 days a year for at least 20 years. Besides this, the engine should be as light as possible to reduce fuel consumption. Hence, it is not at all an easy task to develop an engine with all the set capabilities and yet provide the required thrust. In order to achieve this, the first requirement is to identify composite alloys that is light and has high tensile strength even at extreme conditions above. Finding out such an alloy is the first hurdle. Even if such an alloy can be discovered, it should be commercially producible. And for that, world-class knowledge of metallurgy is imperative. Next, sophisticated machines are required to mold this machine into complex shapes required. The engine thus made will have to undergo numerous tests to ascertain its efficiency and safety. The engine must be tested for how well it responds under various conditions and the thrust produced on each occasion. Most importantly, the reliability and safety of the engine under hostile weather and terrain should be verified thoroughly. If the engine fails in any of these tests, the whole cycle has to be started all over again. This type of iterative research requires a lot of money and time. Not only that, engineers with this sort of cutting-edge technology experience are also required. It is because of all this that only a few countries possess the technology to build jet engines. Only America, Britain, Russia and France have the know-how. These countries have invested huge amounts of money and resources to develop sophisticated jet engines during and after the Second World War. As a result, these countries have an insurmountable lead in the technology of jet engines. Though they have invested a lot, now they are reaping the rewards through the sale of engines and aircrafts. Hence, they view their jet engine technology as a goose that lays golden eggs. Even Great Britain shared the jet technology with the Americans in exchange for the immense help that America had given them during the Second World War. Today, no country will share its jet technology with any other country. Even technologically advanced nations such as Germany and Japan do not have their own jet engines. China, relentlessly trying to become the world superpower, has also not been successful in this regard till now. They have been trying hard to develop their own jet engines using their reverse engineering, but in vain. So now they are trying to get their technology through hacking and espionage. This is evident in the new engine for their new commercial aircraft, Comac 919. Since mid-80s, DRDO has started developing India's own jet engines. The plan was to use these engines in India's own Tejas fighter planes. However, even after decades, This effort wasn't successful owing to extra weight and the lesser thrust from the engine. Subsequently, DRDO entered into an agreement with SNE-CMA of France to share the technical know-how of the M88 engines used in Rafale fighters. Let's hope that this deal will help India to take giant strides in the field of indigenous jet engine production. Several folks believe that Kaveri engine developed by DRDO is a big failure. Argument is that for a country that is capable of building sophisticated rockets, to not build a single jet engine is sheer incompetency. The fact is that one cannot compare the rocket, which is a one-time use only system, with a more complex, long-lasting jet engine. However, it is important that we display the same determination that we had in acquiring cryogenic engines in developing jet engines also. A fast-growing India needs to develop its own jet engines to give wings to its dreams. However, merely spending money is not enough. We need enthusiastic youngsters to come forward and seize the challenge. Above all, they should be given unconditional support by all Indians. Jai Hind.